Okay.
So I think the way forward is to be able to embrace technology. How, as we've discussed, different medias, the phone, internet. With the availability of internet, we're able to use the internet to spread what we do, be it a service, be it goods, be it whatever we do actually. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, personally, I think the way forward is also to embrace technology, understanding the impact of technology in your business, and understanding what the market wants. Someone said there are people who are doing studies to know what will excite someone when they see an image, when they see a product. That all comes in when you're branding yourself, when you're trying to market yourself. Branding will play a key role when you want, like, the reaction you will get when you put yourself out there. There's a reason why IREN is branded in red. There's a reason why Safaricom is branded in green. How you package yourself in this technology era will determine how people will perceive you. Thank
How are
you.
we going to proceed from this session today after we take our tea? As we've taken our tea there.
Okay, embracing technology again. So, like, as the East African community, someone said, let's not be mean. Collaborating with someone from Tanzania, collaborating with someone from Uganda does not mean you'll lose your clients. It only means that you will improve your skills, you will improve your knowledge on whatever you're doing, and that will help you improve your product or service.
We need to integrate this digital entrepreneurship education from the bottom level, from the primary school, secondary school, colleges, universities, in the working centers, everywhere. We need to teach our people on how to use technology to make money, to make business good, and to make life easier.
Yes, just like I said earlier, we can't do without technology. However, we also need to engage more into research and development. We shall not end here. We shall go back to our homes, encourage our members to engage a lot into research and development. We also need to benchmark with success stories. For me, I've had a lot of stories here, and I've learned a lot. Gentleman from Tanzania has taught us a lot. So we need to engage. We need to continue. You need to continue inviting us. We shall come and learn more, and we shall also invite you to Uganda. Then, lastly, we need to formalize our businesses. We need to register, because if we don't, we shall not compete. We can't compete with these people, with the former people. Though we have more money than them, that's what I'm very sure. But we need to register so that we can also benefit from the financial aid. Because in Uganda, the president also personally gives us money. But if us, are you registered? Do you have a registered business? So though we are informal, we need to get registered. Thank you very much.
I was going to say exactly the same thing. I think these kind of dialogues that we are having here today is quite fruitful from what I gained from it personally, but I think it was really good discussions, and I think this networking between people, it helps, and it's also the way forward. So dialogue and networking is the way forward from my point of view.
For me, I want to take it from the point of view, he's been reminding us again and again about transformation vis-a-vis formalization. And for me, I think data is going to help us with transformation. And so I think you've given us a different approach, that instead of rushing formalization, let's create a possibility for transformation, which can offer the incentive for us to formalize if you want, or to remain informal if you want, but then create possibility for transformation.
I think one of the things that was sticking in my head is the use of data. There's a lot of data in Africa, East Africa, and we have to mine it and use it. Let's take advantage of the data that we have. There's a lot of research that have been done, And many times we know where they are on the shelves. We can use them and they will benefit us. Networking is one of the important things that we need to keep up with. And also we create opportunities. Because opportunities are there. Sometimes we look at opportunity, we think it's a threat, and we don't take the risk of using those opportunities.
Actually, I have no way forward because what we are doing is going back to what we did in the 90s, debating on what is informal and what is formal. If way forward begins with the recognition that there is nobody called informal. There are traders, artisans, and peasants. And if we begin with that, and then we look at how they are leveraging technologies themselves, not asking them why they should not be leveraging technology. Let's see how they are using the technologies that are there because they are already doing it. So if we ask the question, how are traders, artisans, and peasants using technology, that would be a different ball game than what we are doing, trying to find out what are the challenges of digitization.
I think put technology in the translational context of daily life activity, and it sounds very abstract, but all that digitalization is saying hello and putting it in an app. So instead of focusing on the app, why is it that we feel that we need to say hello differently because we're using an app? Why is it that that changes the way we behave when the core activity is the same?
I think let's not just leave what we have discussed to remain where we are today. Let us do a series of follow-up meetings so that we can see how we can evaluate to another level. So we need, because we need a lot of decolonization of mindset and thinking of the people. So numerous series of such meetings are so vital and important and can take us to another level.
I just generally outline 5 key areas of discussion or points that have been mentioned in the course of deliberations and discussions today. But more comprehensively, rather comprehensive document will be issued thereafter. Number one, that actors in the informal industry are excluded in terms of access to finance and social protection programs. I'll not repeat much of that because it has been covered conclusively. Secondly, digitalization can help to improve the value chain system and of course helps to improve the productivity of the actors in the informal industry. Number 3, that data remains critical for the enhancement and improvement in terms of market operations and other processes in the informal industry. And number 4, that there is need either to change or transform the education system to ensure that aspects of digitalization are incorporated in order to promote perhaps established enterprises that have aspects of digitalization and which have clear projections for the future. Also in terms of the education system, in the morning we were having discussions about the education system across the East African region and extensively Africa, being highly based on examinations, of which a significant number of those individuals who end up obtaining lower marks are condemned either to work in the informal sector, which should not be the case. So there is need to reform the education system. And finally, and the most important thing is about the policies, that we need policies that are geared towards transforming the informal industry, or the informal economy or sector, towards changes that are either happening at the moment or those changes that are projected to take place in the future. And in terms of these policies, then both the government or government agencies, non-governmental entities, as well as actors in the informal industry remain crucial in terms of either leading in their formulation or advocating for the formulation of relevant policies. We should not forget that over time, we've had policies geared towards formalization of the informal industry. But as we've all heard, it is not really necessary to formalize the informal industry. But what we could do is to try and transform it. Finally, now that we've been discussing about the informal industry, years back, there is a certain book that I read known as Stealth of Nations. So Stealth of Nations is authored by a journalist known as Robert Neuwirth. So if, I know some of you maybe have read, but if you also get time and you're interested, you can also still get a copy of that particular book and read. It details, the activities of the informal industry across the world, from Brazil to China to Nigeria. I think even Kenya is extensively mentioned, and many other countries. So the informal industry also exists, or the informal economy exists besides the formal economy all over the world. And far from that, I hope all of us, we've taken a few lessons here and there, that it will be interesting and great if we try and implement what we've learned in this particular forum. Thank you, Dr.
Yangu ni machache kuwapongeza kwa kuweza kuwa nasi siku ya leo kuanzia asubuhi. Nilisikia wengine tuliingia saa 1 asubuhi na tumekuwa sote pamoja mpaka sasa hivi. Inamaanisha kwamba wote tuna ile hamu ya kuleta maendeleo katika biashara zetu ama chumi zetu ambazo hazijasajiliwa vile, ama hata kama zimesajiliwa sio kubwa vile. Wengine tunasema reja Kiswahili cha Kenya, lakini sijui Tanzania kama reja is a correct Swahili ama it's just some Greek word made into Swahili. But then I go to English. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank each one of you for taking time to join us during this 17th IREN Africa Resource Bank Forum. And as I mentioned earlier, this is something we do annually and create possibility for people to brainstorm, to network, to connect, to grow their dreams, whether it's in academia, whether it's in politics, whether it's in business. And we use this forum to share ideas freely, and this has been very great. As you've heard from the summaries, one of the challenges we are being told is don't just rush to formalize, because there are reasons why somebody doesn't want to be formal, but create a possibility where the players, and Mary is reminding us, maybe don't just push it to them, just give them a chance to drive their course and uptake technology on the basis of their experience. And lastly, of course, as I say thank you, we are learning that digitalization is an ocean. And in any ocean, if you don't know how to swim, you drown. So we celebrate technology, but we need skills, and this has been emphasized. And our education system is not teaching us right now how to swim in this new ocean. So here is an opportunity for us as players in the informal sector also to teach our colleagues how to swim in this particular sector. And I think as IREN, we are here for you. And as I said, there's some research we are working on, and we'll be releasing information maybe in January or early February, because it's quite intensive, as you heard. And we'll be happy to invite you to come during the release of the report, so you can also have an idea of what we've been looking at, and also query some of our findings and point us to other directions. Otherwise, we feel very much honored that you came. And informal people, informal business need not feel informal. Thank you. You've told us to be careful, not use this word. And Cecilia too is telling us language can also enslave us. So again, let's be careful. Some of the English words we use, they make some people run away. So as we break for, I'm told there's some coffee session. Let's be careful. The language we use should be language that we will not say, you know what, I'm giving up. Let's use a language that will energize us to do the next step and stay connected. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much. Dankeschön for dada kutoka Ujerumani. Thank you.